Good afternoon and welcome to Friday with Fiona, and today I'm using the Aspen trees and I'm going to do 3 completely different types of cards. It might be split into 2 parts because I am pre-recording. I'll be at the hospital for a regular checkup when my normal my normal Friday with Fiona, so I thought it's safer to tape it. I know I'm going to have a couple of hours wait, so I would be pretty stressed. I'm using the Aspen trees dies, which is this one, and it goes with the perched in a tree stamp set where you've got a robin and a branch and some leaves, and the dies you get the leaves, the robin, branch, and then this beautiful aspen tree. So we're only actually using this die. So I'm going to do the first 2 cards and stop, and then it'll be part 2 will be my extra special one, which I absolutely love, and I'll really hope you do as well. So before let me just swap the cameras around. Oh, why didn't that work? Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is card 2, this is card 1, and I wanted to kind of do it like an autumny colour, and I've used both of these are using the One Horse Open Sleigh Designer Series paper. So really straightforward. The hardest bit probably is doing the die cutting, and then there is a bit of a fancy fold in that one, and then we'll move on to the second video will be my favourite. I just wanted to remind you until the end of the month of October 2023 we're celebrating Stampin' Up's 35-year anniversary with a starter kit special. So 35% off or 35% more. So you can spend, well, the starter, it's always the best deal in the catalogue, the starter kit. But at this time, this month, you can spend £64.35 and get £130 worth of product. I don't think I have ever seen an offer this good. It's incredible. And the other one is spend 35% more, sorry, get 35% more, not spend, and you spend £99, which is the standard starter kit, but you can spend up to £175.50, so absolutely incredible. But that £64.35 is just amazing. So I just wanted to remind you of that before we crack on. Right, now the first one I'm going to do is using, this is an online special designer series paper in the Calypso Coral, and it's a blue, I'm not sure. Right, dry brushed metallic. Oh, it's Cajun Craze. I thought it was Calypso Coral, my mistake. Petal pink and soft succulent. So I'm using the kind of reddish autumny one. Now I've cut a standard petal pink card base. So 21 centimeters by 14.8, scored in half at 10.5. And I've done the designer series paper 10.5 by 14.8 to cover the whole amount. And then I have my designer series paper. I do have a bit of Calypso Coral. I don't actually have any Cajun Craze cardstock because it's really not my cup of tea. It's too dark, but the Calypso Coral I think is great for this time of year. And I've just trimmed that down. So measurement wise, the Calypso Coral is 9.5 by 13.3, and the designer series paper, because I'm focusing on my little Bambi here, and so that is 9.2 by 12.8. So I'm just going to adhere that to my Calypso Coral and all will be revealed. I'm going to bring in the mini cut and emboss machine in a minute. I just checked to see that the die, that it's big enough for the die to go through. This is a new Seal Plus and it keeps coming off the runner. So all I'm doing is put my tweezers under and pushing it back across because it's too valuable to lose. Right, so that's going to go. So I'm just literally going to have a very small Calypso Coral frame around my designer series paper. There we go. So that's done. Now I've already adhered my metallic to the front just to save a bit of time. And what I'm going to do now is run my, I'm going to have to fold this back because I don't want it to go through the back. I'm going to place my die on the card base and just try and get it straight. Sometimes it gets a bit, the tree's a bit wonky, which is not a good idea, but that's okay. And try and kind of get it in the middle, fold that round because I don't want that. Oh, it's not going to go through. Okay, I'm just going to have to go off camera and do it on my big one. There won't be a second. Let's just line that up. So my die would go through the machine, but my cardstock is too wide, so that's basically why. Okay, let me just move that out of the way. I think I've prepped everything else. Well, there is a bit more cutting, but the same thing will apply. It won't go through the little one. Right, so I now need to get these bits out. I'm just going to, because I've got my designer series paper on already, it would probably help to go back through a couple of times. Let me get my brush, because it's just a little bit thicker. Where's my die? There we go. Put the die on and then put my brush through. And hopefully that will get all my bits out. When I did the first one, I did it separately, and then lining up the designer series paper was a little bit tricky. So I just thought it was probably easier but not quicker to do it through the designer series paper. I'll tell you what, I'm going to just run it through again because it is really thick. So hopefully, yes, it's coming out much easier now. Get that up. Lovely die. It's in the annual catalogue, not in the mini, if you're looking for it. Because I think it was in last well, in fact, it was July to December last year, but it was in that mini, I think. So I'm just pulling the bits out. So this is a fancy fold, and I've kind of modelled it on a mystery project that I had to do when I was on an online retreat, but they just used a punch to like have the sentiment showing, and I thought, okay, why not take it up a notch? And oops, he doesn't want to come away. Yeah, why not take it a notch and have the whole front bit as my opening rather than just a small bit. Come on. This is going to be the longest bit of making the card, I think. I should have done it earlier, but I wanted to just show you. I mean, the die is really great. And also, with intricate ones, you can always use a bit of wax paper, and that will mean they come out really, really easily. So what I did with the other one is I put adhesive sheet on the back of my designer series paper. So when I pulled the adhesive sheet up, it pulled all these little bits out. But then lining it up, if you haven't got the die at exactly the same angle, it can be a bit tricky. So I just thought it was easier to do it this way. Right, there's just a couple of bits that don't want to come out. And then we'll be ready to crack on. So the reason I'm using this colour, tree opposite me hasn't quite changed colour yet, but it's starting to. I just thought it was quite autumnal. The other one we're doing is Misty Moonlight because it matches the designer series paper. So it's kind of more wintry. And at the end of the day, don't forget, people do have birthdays in winter. So it's kind of quite nice to give them, right, let's get rid of all of this junk. Let's get my bin up. Right, so now we can carry on. Right, so what I've got now is a piece of very vanilla paper, and it is I think I must have done it in inches, this one actually, because it's not matching up with the don't want to lose my snow. Right, so it is, yeah, it's 8 inches by 5 5/8, and then it's scored at 2 inches and 4 inches. Okay, now what we're going to do is glue it so that our fold is on the outside. I'll just move up so you can see. So our fold is on the outside like that. Okay, so I'll just get my seal. Actually, I'm going to use Seal Plus for this. So I'm only gluing down the larger piece of Very Vanilla. And I chose Very Vanilla because I thought it complemented the Cajun Craze, or whatever it is, Calypso Coral. So I'm just going to line that up, try and get it straight. Not straight there, come on. That's better. It's because I ran the whole card through my die machine, it's gone a bit wonky. It's actually embossed the back, but that's okay. That's just an added effect. Okay, so now we have, get that bit out. Come on. There we go. So what you can see at the moment is the die, through the die, you see to the Very Vanilla. Well, obviously we don't want that. So let's just get my creases really nicely done. And then we're going to take our piece of Calypso Coral with our Bambi. And I just want to line it up because my Bambi, showing my Bambi is the most important thing. So he needs to be about there. And then you can see him through. So I'm just going to get a pencil and mark underneath my Calypso Coral. So that is where I can go up to with my glue. So let's get the Seal Plus again. Make sure I'm doing the correct side. And just try and line him up again. And there you go. So that was a relatively straightforward card. And then obviously you would open it, put your message in there. Now I came up with the sentiment, "You're awesome," because I think the Bambi is awesome. So that is from the Circle Sayings. And what I did was I took the, where is it? "You're awesome." Right, so it actually says, "Because you're awesome," but I don't want the "because" on there. I'm just going to mask it Here's my bit of very vanilla. So I'm just literally going to mask the because with a bit of post-it tape. Calypso Coral. Don't want to hide. I don't want to cover the yaw up at all, but it's quite. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to ink up my You're Awesome. Now it has just gone onto the paper. Take the post-it tape off and stamp. I'm trying to get it straight. Okay, that's that done. And now all I've got to do, whoops, after I've cleaned my now I'm going to schedule. I need to just fussy cut that. So what I find it easiest to do, and I want it to be straight above the yaw. I'm going to line that up with the grid paper. That's the yaw, and then under the awesome. And then I'm just going to, so I'm going to start with this curlicue. Underneath the M, round the E, and up, and then down from the Y at an angle around there. Okay, I just find it easier to cut when I've drawn the lines, and then if you've got to, you know, if it's too much, you can just rub out if it's showing at all. So around the E, to the M. So that wasn't quite straight, so I've got a pencil line there, but that's okay. I can just snip that off. And then along the top of the yaw, which should be straight because I used a ruler, and snip the edges off there. Down by the Y, and then round the A. And I just find it a lot easier to have a line to follow than kind of doing it freehand. Up from the A and then straight along to the M. And there we go. And that's my sentiment, just fussy cut. Now, obviously, you could just cut it straight and put it straight on. You don't need to fussy cut if you hate fussy cutting. Just going to make sure there's no pencil marks showing. And then I'm going to take my mini dimensionals, because it's only a little sentiment. Just making sure I'm on the screen. So I've got the host code here and it's going along on the bottom. So if you spend £30 by midnight on Tuesday night, I will send you everything that you need except for stamped images, so which I think is just the sentiment, because everything else is designer series paper or die cuts. I'll send you everything that you need to make to each of these cards. So that's including, for the last card, a tea light, a faux tea light. Imagine putting a real tea light on a card and being in fire in no time. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop that across the bottom because he is awesome. So there's lots of shine and stuff from this paper, so you don't really need, I don't think you need to, you can stand up like that. Now with the first one, and then you just put your message in there. I do like that. With the first one, I actually punched a tiny little hole. I used linen thread, but I just went over it with my Calypso Coral blend. I'm not going to try and do this in a bow because it'll take too long. But I just did it up so that when it arrives, it's like that. And it can be propped up, because when it opens like that, the deer has moved from its middle position. So that's card number 1, and I hope you like that. They're not really my colours, but I just thought for this time of year, and that paper is gorgeous. So card 1, and that stamp can go away. The next one will be a birthday card, and I do have some family and friends that have birthdays in December, one right before Christmas, poor thing. Okay, so this is card 2, and it's Misty Moonlight and Basic White. So there's the Basic White. I've already cut that down. I stamped, this is from the Horse and Sleigh. The hare and the tree are from the Horse and Sleigh. So I've already stamped those and cut them out just to save a bit of time. So that's my tree. And then I've got 2 bits of snow. They're also, I think, from the Horse and Sleigh dies. Yes, they are. So I've cut those out already. And all I need to do, and I've die cut that's the smallest tailored tags, but I made it even smaller still by, I cut out the white bit, I stamped it, then I cut it out, and then I moved the die and just put the end through. So I've got a little diddy one, and that's to go through the tag. So what I need to do now is I need to die cut my Aspen trees, and I need to cut down my designer series paper. So I'll just line this, so this is going to be in the middle. And I've got a bit there, designer series paper. Let's get that out. There we go. I think I've got everything else out. So just going to line that up in the white. Run that through. Now this is just one level, so it should go through no problem. It's already coming out because it's only one. It was just because I had two levels last time, so that's going to come straight out. And this is just regular basic white, not the thick. See, it's just that, I mean, I think it makes really beautiful cards. But literally, it's gone through the die cutting machine, and you know you've already got it. It's amazing. If you were doing mass cards using this, it would save you so much time. Right, let's make sure I don't throw away bits I need. So that's my snow, that's my tree, that's my winter hare or whatever they're called, and then that is all rubbish. Right. Okay. So that's not finished with it yet, but so now what I need is just to line up my designer series paper. So it's going over this tree here. And we'll have that tree there as well. So I'm just going to mark again with a pencil. And I need to cut inside these lines. So let's get my trimmer. done with the Calypso coral, that can go away. Right, so I'm going to keep it because it might go on the inside. Again, that might go on the inside. I'll decide when I've lined them up. Yeah, still need to take a little bit off that side, I think. So I'm just doing it so that it's I've got my trees where I want them, and they're not, it's not coming over the edge. I just need a fraction off this side, literally teeny, because I want this tree to be visible, which is perfect. Okay, so pop that out of the way, and I'm just going to pop some glue around this. I think I'm getting to the end of my whoa, gonna have to move that, and let's get my silicone mat. Okay, I think my glue eraser is going to come into its own in a minute because I have got way too much glue there. Just trying to get it in the middle of the screen for you. There we go. So now I've got both my misty moonlight trees visible. And now I've got it down, I just need to get a few little bits out. And then I'm going to just pop some glue underneath these trees so that they don't bubble up. That should do it. Okay. So I've got some excess glue here, and I haven't put my designer series paper on straight, so I'm just gonna trim that off. Let's get rid of the glue first. The silicone mat is great because it will absorb the glue off my paper. There we go. So I just need to trim this a little bit here because I didn't put it on straight. There we go. And it's got glue on it, so it's sticking to me. Right, there we go. Nope, still sticking to me. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to pop that on the front of, oh, there's a bit there that's, I definitely didn't put it on straight. Apologies, user error. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to use some Seal Plus actually. Normally I'd put it on the back of here, but there's wet glue on the front and there's wet glue on that, so I don't really want to risk putting it down. And I can just tuck some glue underneath if I need to. Just trying to make sure it's straight. I think this, well, this is kind of my favourite until you see the third one. It probably is still my favourite actually. See if I can get this glue off. There we go. Hopefully I've got it now. That's it. Right. Okay. So then I've got my snow. They're not even little hills really. I don't know what they are. So I'm just going to layer those. I'm going to put some wet glue on that one and pop it along the bottom of my trees, and then that one goes, so you have like a layer, but I haven't actually used dimensionals. I'm just laying them flat, mainly for the reasons of postage, because the more dimensionals you use, the more expensive the postage is. And then I can tuck my hair in. Just going to line that up. There we go. And then my hair, I'm probably going to use a glue dot just for ease. So I've put the glue dot on his bum. I'm tucking him in there like that. And then I'll lean down and I'll pop another glue dot under his head. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a mini dimensional under his head because it's not on the tree, so it would be lower down. That's it. That's better. Then I have my tree, which I had a minute ago. What have I done with it? Under there. Okay. And again, I'm just laying it flat, and that's coming out of the snow as well. Now I did stamp them. The hair I stamped in full strength, Misty Moonlight, and the tree I stamped off. So I stamped it once, and then and I'm going to use glue dots again. Just for ease, really. And there you go. Right, okay. And then last but not least, my little happy birthday tag. I think this is a perfect kind of winter birthday card. Now again, this was linen thread, and I've just gone over it with my Misty Moonlight blend. And the happy birthday is also from the not Horse and Sleigh, the, what is it, the Circles one? Circles, I don't know. Circle Sayings. Right. This is fiddly because it's so short. I did have a longer bit, but I cut it down, so. And I want it going that way. So you can see I had to turn it over and redo it. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that on with a couple of dimensionals. Baby dimensionals. which they take forever to go through, these mini dimensionals. I don't know about you, but the big ones I go through really quickly, but the mini ones. Pop that on there. Just trim that. And there's card 2. I do really love that one. I know who I'm going to give that to already. So there's the first 2 cards. I'm just going to stop the video and I will record part 2 because I have problems uploading them if they're too long. So stay tuned and part 2 will be coming soon. Thanks for watching.